Hello. Good evening, Tess. Let us see if the mic is sorted out.
Excellent. Hi, Helmets. Do you hear
I
me?
cannot hear you yet. You need to switch your mic, please. My apologies. So let us get cozy. Those who are late, that's good for you. As we will sort out the microphone. You can switch different microphones, and then, or do you want to reconnect to the live stream? Okay, we'll wait. That's fine, Tess. That's fine.
Thanks. Okay, I'll come right back.
Yeah. Okay. Of course. No problem. Good evening, everybody. We are having a special guest, Tess Diaz, from the United States of America. She's got 25 years of experience in the domain name industry, and those who do follow up the domain name space and the needs industry, I believe that Tess is the one who actually brought in Andy Rosner into domaining. We'll hear all about all these great stories and everything else if the mic is sorted.
Hi, Helmets.
Let us see. And nothing yet. Nothing yet. No.
Okay.
You can see. So once you see your screen, Tess now, yes. Then there are camera options, and then there are microphone options.
Mm-hmm. I only have
Just
two
pick
options.
the microphone. Just two of them.
Okay. Yeah. And I tried one, and now I tried two.
It's 1, 2. Yes. Is your microphone switched on? Probably is. Yes.
How about now?
Let us see.
Do you hear me now?
Bang, bang, bang. Nothing else yet. Okay. Once you will start talking.
I am talking. Let's try one. Yes.
Then that's me. Thank you. Oh my God. It is time for somebody to blush. Oh God. Tess. Of course. Oh. So, isn't that awesome, Tess? The beauty of the live streams. People can actually jump in. We have quite a lot of people already watching this.
Hello. Oh, this is cool. Hi, Jason. Neat to see. I've never done a live stream.
Could you lower your camera a little bit, please? Could you lower your camera a little bit? Yes. Fantastic. Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much, Helmets. What are we going to talk about today? I'm so excited. Less than a week, and I'm flying
Less than a week. Yes, or spot on 1 week. Let me remove the... So, could you tell a little bit of your story? Where do you come from, and how did you enter the domain name industry?
Sure.
I haven't got a clue. This seriously.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So I grew up in a little town south of Boston, and more or less I moved out to Scottsdale, Arizona in around 2001. And then I left for a couple of years, lived in Germany, and I came back in 2006.
Okay.
And I needed a job. And this company, a local company in Scottsdale, Arizona, was recruiting me. And I never heard of them, and I wasn't sure what they did, but it's weird name called GoDaddy.
Oh God. Okay. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah. So that's how it all began. And within a couple months, like 3 months maybe of working at GoDaddy, I was moved a couple times. And each time, I was like, I just kind of want a little, I wasn't looking for a big career. I had 3 very young children. And so basically I wound up after a couple months in the executive accounts department, which nowadays is Premier Services. But there were just about 12 of us. And it was really neat because GoDaddy had very poor relationship with investors. They didn't see domain investing as a part of their business or as something important. But the 12 of us really knew there was something important to be sorted out. And we knew there was a lot of value with domain investors. And so little by little, I feel like we bridged that gap. We would learn from some investors that we spoke with, and we would then consult others with the knowledge we shared with each other, cobbled together, learned on our own, and then transmit that back to the other clients we spoke with. But we were also transmitting that up as advocates to GoDaddy as a company to help them understand. And I give them a lot of credit, particularly Paul Nix, in really hearing and understanding that there's opportunity and advocating for kind of changing how those relationships were managed. So yeah, that's
So you were in Germany, and that is the year 2001. Yes.
I was in Germany. I moved there 03, I believe.
03. Okay. And what did you do there?
So my ex-husband was in the military.
Okay.
But such a long story. Even though we were married, I wasn't sponsored to go over there.
Okay.
So I just figured it out. I just bought myself a plane ticket and my children, and I flew over there and found a flat to rent and figured out a visa and learned the language and made friends and
Wow.
enrolled my
Awesome.
children in
Yes.
German kindergarten and just made it happen. I had
Wow.
a tremendous couple of years there. Yeah.
Awesome. And how did GoDaddy find you, and why did they reach out to you?
I mean, I had sales background and call
Okay.
center background, I think
Okay.
probably. But I have no idea.
And
Like,
did they
I just
reach?
remember my phone ringing and I'm like, what? What do you do? Okay. So I went in for an interview and it was interesting. And, you know, and I like listening to people. I like
Yes.
listening to people's stories. So all I did on the phone was learning and asking, what are you trying to do with your business? What are you trying to build? Why are you buying this domain? Why this domain and not a different one? And, I believe certain things about life overall and certain things about just me in particular. But what has worked for me in my career is listening to people, what they're trying to achieve, and creating a win-win. Yeah.
And you were brought in immediately into executive
It
account.
was like, again, against my, I mean, not quite against my will, but yeah, I didn't like, it was a place a lot of people spent years trying to work their way over there. And
Yes.
I really did just the opposite. I had an
Ta-da! Here I am.
incredible, yeah, yeah, by accident. Yeah, I've learned to be a little more strategic in my life since then. But yes, it was, an extraordinary experience. And we would see the domain conferences. And then behind the scenes, at the domain conference, we'd hear someone say, don't invest in this TLD. And then they'd call us up and spend 23 grand on that TLD. Right. So we'd
Okay.
see, you see a domain, actually there'd be a domain conference and then this flurry of domains moving between accounts.
Yes.
So even if we didn't know dollar amounts or, public sales, you just learn so much from being there. And I will say, no matter where your domains are registered, to anyone listening, the value of having a relationship with whomever is managing your domains and all your, competitors and colleagues, they see a lot, and can, even if they can't share actual information, they can share insights. And it was interesting to me. I saw a lot of people overlook me, assume a lot of things, not about me personally, about anyone in my role.
Okay.
And see other people who knew enough to know I knew a lot, or anyone in my role would know a lot.
About what?
Well, you see all sorts of private, undisclosed information, right? And piece that together over time, right? So,
Any
just
more
about,
samples?
well, what domains are being invested in,
Okay.
what keywords are really hot, who up and coming buyers are, who's preparing to sell a portfolio, what types of
Oh,
portfolios or individual, domain name types are moving, whether it's keyword specific or it's TLD specific, or there are so many
so
nuances.
are you saying that you could even see who was preparing to sell the portfolio?
Well, there are different, like there can be different signals if,
For example? Yeah,
uh,
that's really interesting.
I mean, and I know things have changed, right?
Yes.
Like every company in the past 20 years since I think it's been 18 years since I started. Um, every company, I like Mr. Planet Prophet. She knows the
Yes.
secrets of the secrets. Yes.
Bang. Oh, that's
Yes, I
beautiful.
do.
That's beautiful.
Oh, um, now I feel like I have a goal to get the bell to ring. I like
Bang.
it, Helmet. Yeah, no. Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of interest there. So definitely relationships worth developing, or with people who see things on the back end, and not, I mean, they're not going to talk to you if you keep trying to ask, tell me a secret. But if you say, do
Yes.
you think I should, whatever your question is, do you think I should invest more heavily over here? Do you think this was a mistake? Like, listen to them. I had people assuming I was making $50,000 a year when, like, I was making more than they were, and they just didn't know. And I would treat people with respect no matter what dollar amount they're making per year, or not just with respect, but with, hey, do you have insights to share? But anyway, any
That's
advice
yes.
on so someone is asking, any advice on domains not selling after 2 years, no offers? I mean, right? This is what I love about the domain industry. There are a million nuances. Is this a six-figure domain? Is this a one-word domain?
Absolutely.
Is this
Yes.
a .com? Right? My biggest advice is ask a bunch of people that question. If my favorite one is envision yourself, at a Thanksgiving dinner with your family and with people who don't understand domains, and can you explain to them why they should buy it?
Or Mr. Planet, maybe type in 5 domains of these here in this chat, and we'll have a look. In the
So
end
I
of the
think,
day, it is exactly
yeah,
about
I'm
the
happy
domain
to look
names.
at this
Yeah.
particular list, but I think for everyone,
Yeah.
can family and random strangers get it? Like, imagine those TV shows where they go ask someone on the street a question. Like, could you say, what would you do if I gave you this domain? Or how would you build a business on this? And they can't tell you. That's an answer. But then also having relationships with other domain investors. And Helmets and I did not schedule
Bang.
this ahead of time or anything, but truly, this is the value of the London Summit. This is the value of conferences, of chat rooms, of relationships with other domain investors. And you talk to a bunch of people who get
And
it,
yes.
don't.
And following up the industries wherever people are working at.
Yeah.
I did discover you from the bench shop.
Yep. Yep. I loved Domain Sherpa.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
absolutely
Hello from
brilliant.
Vegas.
This can I ask you about? Nobody speaks about cemeteries of domainers. It is always, oh, everything is so sunny, shiny, beautiful. Everybody is making huge sales, $50,000, $100,000 sales, and stuff like that. And nobody actually talks about the domainers who have been destroyed by fees and stuff like that. From your perspective, so you have 20 to 25 years of experience.
18. Keep me young,
18.
Helmet.
Oh,
Keep me
18. My apologies. My apologies. So 18 years, 18 years of experience. Are there have you must have seen lots of burnt domainers.
Yeah.
What could be the main lessons we should learn from them?
I think I am a very nice person. Maybe we all think that about ourselves. But I think I am compassionate, understanding, but off the cuff, I cannot think of anyone I feel bad for who like lost everything. They didn't listen. Like, and I don't mean to me, I mean to who invests in the stock market and doesn't do research and just keeps investing a bunch? Who invests in anything, right? I mean, we are responsible for our investments, and that includes educating ourselves and not overextending ourselves. I like risk to some degree, and I respect that different people have different risk tolerance, and good for
Yes.
them. And the stories of Frank Schilling, Adam Dicker, I remember.
Yes.
Their stories are, I almost lost absolutely everything, was at the absolute brink of disaster. That was their story.
Yeah.
Into before going big. And so that's a great story, and that's more risk than I've ever taken. And so I recognize that's out of my sphere. But most people, especially they were already in the industry when we showed up. You know what I mean? Like, there are
Absolutely.
templates and examples of what to do, what not to do. There are multiple forums, this live stream. There are places there's no excuse to lose everything. And I mean, if you want to risk every single dollar, like, my advice, as I'm sure, insert legal disclaimer here, my advice is, well, you should probably kind of educate yourself about it first, right? Like, and I hope that's not harsh. It's okay to like risk educated or uneducated and lose a little bit, but I know people who've lost everything or who've lost tremendous amounts, and I don't know any of them who I feel like did a bunch of research first.
And nobody talks about them. Sadly, nobody talks about them. Everybody praises. I know this one guy who was dreaming of his own web platform. His wife left him with his the house was taken away. He just kept paying to this Indian developer company, and the website was never actually launched. Lost.
Oh, I know
everything.
people who
Yes.
flat out have like a diagnosable gambling disorder
Yeah.
with domains, and they're exciting. Oh my gosh, let's talk about, like, is it dopamine? The dopamine hit
Yes.
when you come up with a
Okay.
great domain. Like, I get it all. It's an exciting industry with tremendous potential, right? And we're very few. Truly, even as we've grown over the years, we're very, very few. So, less competition, woohoo, more money for us, right? But to develop, to develop your way out of an echo chamber, I guess is what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
Find places where you can ask someone questions, where you can get feedback on your investments, where you hear other people's stories. We don't need to be in an echo chamber. Just because you've never met another investor in person doesn't mean you can't communicate daily with them. So I think that's the answer.
Let us say, Tess, let us say one of your sons came to you and said, Mom, I want to try this out.
Hi, Mike Seiger. Not that he's here. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
bang. Yes.
Yeah, my sons have, and I've said, do TN Academy and then talk to me, and they didn't finish.
Okay.
So, well, I guess you don't really want to do that. That's fine, but I think there are multiple education resources out there. Start with that. Commit yourself to that. Get a structure in place.
So start with the Academy.
That's what I would. I mean, that's what I have told my own children to do. Yeah. Or just start with something of structured education.
Okay. Have you got some domain portfolio of your own as well? Always wanted to know.
Oh, I own extremely few domain names for a variety of reasons. Um, yeah, I co-own a handful, and with, I want to say off the cuff, 3 different people.
Okay.
And then I have a very few of my own.
Can we hear them, please?
Hey, I'm like, I don't know if I still own tessdiaz.com. I've like let it expire a couple times. Oh, I am completely officially a total domain investor because I let a domain expire. It went through the entire expiration process. It's sold on the aftermarket for $3,500. And I tried to renew it the next day, like is when I became aware of it. And they were like, yeah, yesterday it transferred to the buyer's account. And I'm like, oh, I'm officially a complete, like now I get the t-shirt. Yeah.
Everybody's done that. Everybody's done that.
Yeah. Life is busy, I don't know. It's just how it goes. Yeah.
So can we hear some of your domain names you have in your portfolio? They are for sale anyway, aren't they?
No, probably not.
If the right buyer comes for
the
right buyer. Are they for the right buyer or are they for yourself? Or
I mean, everything's for sale, right?
Bang, off we go. So if they are for sale, let us open the shop. Let us see what is there.
No, I truly, I'm not even sure what I still have. Like not trying to be private, really. I am being private of names I co-own.
Okay. Can we know them?
No, I'm saying I wouldn't, because I haven't spoken with those people.
Yes.
But I co-own one name with my dear friend Kimberly Darwin from 101 Domain.
Okay.
Have a, I don't know legally what the right word is or whatever, but more or less, with Drew Rosner, have a handful. And then, God rest his soul, with Jason Shepard. Which goes into definitely, have your assets in order if you pass, for your family to access. Always good to remember that. I think all of us know it and we've heard it, but it doesn't mean we've actually done anything about it, right? Because how do you share your password and your 2-factor authentication and your this and your that and the other? So then we just don't do it. And that's, helpful reminder to figure out a way and get it done. So
you mentioned Mr. Rosner. I understand that you brought him into the industry, yes?
Yeah, I mean, so Drew was.
We'll get him on the live stream. He said probably in autumn or something he'll come over.
Okay, nice.
I understand it takes time, but he's a straight shooter, and it is easy. If he's saying that at someday he'll come, then he'll be here. If he didn't want to, he would say no.
No, yeah. Summertime is always family time. So I mean, I met Drew because he was a GoDaddy customer. So I didn't, he was buying domains, but it was funny, in sales, definitely, managing sales teams, you always, the metrics always change. And, there's this little dance, right, that the salespeople complain it's unnecessary. And the managers are like, nah, you got to shake this up or whatever, right? So we had a new metric for like a minute at GoDaddy where all they measured was how much time you spent on the phone. What they were rewarding. It was a brief time, a long time ago. Okay. GoDaddy was so private. It was,
so did they want more time or less time to be more efficient?
They wanted more. more time on
more
the phone.
quality time. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. More time spent on.
So,
Very nice. Yes.
so they gave me a lead, to qualify, and I called Drew, and he did not qualify to, be an executive account. He just kind of bought a handful of domains. But he and I hit it off, really liked each other's personalities. I had just moved back from Germany a couple months before, I want to say. And he was, I don't know if he was engaged or married to a German. We grew up 20 minutes from each other. So just kind of hit it off. And, both of us are big talkers.
Okay.
And so we'd talk and I'd get all my emails done. But I also saw, and I think, this is no surprise to anyone, I saw tremendous potential in him. And it's just like, I remember saying this exact same thing to him. It's just like, you want to buy the ugliest house on the street and, remodel, transform that house, build it up to the best house on the street. In a lot of ways, back then, there were no great domain brokers, and Drew clearly had those skills. And, like, you should go into this. This is the world for you. And there's not a lot of competition, and you'd be incredible at it. So that's the way I remember it. I think that's the way he remembers it. Awesome. Yeah, so I consulted him, like he was just one of, not just, right, but he was one of my clients for most of the years I was at, because I didn't meet him right away. I don't know when exactly, but, for most of the years that of my first time at GoDaddy. Anyway, so yeah.
Yes, he has this thing. Once he believes in something, he radiates his belief immediately. He buys an awesome name, and that name becomes 10x better immediately because he owns it.
Well, there's, I think for all of us, we should be buying in domains that we believe in that enthusiastically. We don't all have his budget, but you know what? He didn't have that budget back in the day either, right? But I think we all should be able to explain, because unless you're buying a name that you're expecting someone else to broker for you, if you can't explain a sales pitch for it, A, you probably shouldn't be buying it, and B, you're going to have a hard time selling it. Right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Explain. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a good question is about advice on keywords to snag in 2023.
Bang. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, great question. And Mr. Planet Profit mentioned future technologies specifically. So yeah, I mean, future technologies are fabulous to invest in. We all wish that we had, AI and Chat GPT type names, right? And with that, there's tremendous new technology coming out. I am not doing a whole lot right now with, that's more of a question for like bulk domain investing than premium domain investing, right? And so I'm not doing a whole lot right now in that area, but definitely we all see, what's selling. There are also tools that can be used to look up, what are popular, what are new domain registrations, and then, taking out the data analysis from that of, seeing what keywords are really, really smoking hot. Although I do remember the first time I was introduced to that many years ago was someone was buying all these domains because he saw the keyword Skype was really hot, but he didn't look up what is Skype. And that's trademarked,
yes, cool.
Right? So especially with new technologies coming out, it might be hard to pull apart what's just plain old a new technology versus like the technology versus a trademarked word. So, definitely protect yourself. And just because you see volume registrations, it doesn't mean that those that came before you did their research on that, on the trademark status. So I would say that.
You have seen many domain name investors. Are there some golden rules for a domain name investor? So education would be number one. Educate yourself.
Yep.
What else?
And I consider part of education is community. We even your education cannot be in an echo chamber where you just took a class. That's not enough. There has to be a community aspect where you're bouncing ideas, hearing other people's ideas. That's number one. I don't know if it's number two, but definitely on my top 5 to 10, I believe cultivating creativity is really important in domain investing in particular, because you have to wire your brain to see and hear new connections and understandings and what is coming in the future. So however, you can take a class, read a book, do an exercise, meet with others, or you can, I don't know, probably just go ziplining. See, it's a tax write-off. But I think habits that grow creative thinking and different, right? Like our brains are so pliable, right? Like neuroplasticity, to intentionally nurture and grow creativity, I think is really important to all of this. And honestly, it's kind of nice for life too. But yeah.
We'll jump to the questions after that. Then
okay.
What else?
Oh, what else is on my list? Let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think so. Does this still count as education, right? I think we need a date. So there's the structured education of how do I do this? What is my strategy? Obviously, reading the blogs, listening to podcasts, etc. That has to be like, daily or weekly habit to know, because we need the zeitgeist. It doesn't work without it. You can't, domains that worked in 2005 don't work today. I mean, except that oneword.com. But I think developing a personal strategy based on your own resources. So I love Mike Seiger. Last I knew his number was he had 33 domains. And that's the amount of time and energy that he wants to spend on renewing his domains, managing their security, keeping track of when and how and where and at what price each one is listed and how often he updates that. That works for him. Right? Someone else has 20,000 domains and they have a different approach and structure, and that works for them. And so I think it's really important to know and decide what are my resources and what are my interests. So if my resource is I have limited time, but 6 figures to spend, or I already have a personal assistant or strong relationships with, VAs in the Philippines, right? Like if you have different resources, or I work for an SEO company, I see and get all the new incoming trends, then maybe you kind of want volume and low dollar domains. So I think deciding what volume do you want? What price point do you want? How often do you want to not just sell? How often do you want to negotiate? How often do you want to receive offers? If you can do that all day, every day, or that's your goal to get to that, good for you. For me, I'd go crazy. Like, I know that does not work for me. A small volume of domains works for me personally.
Okay.
So, and I know lots of people who've been done tremendously well with a large volume. It's just what works for You. And another resource I think people often overlook, maybe your resource is expertise in this rabbit hole, whether it's, hey, don't we all wish it were like crypto, or AI? But even if your background is in roofing, things about roofing and roofing values and keywords, and also what their pain points are, whether that turns into, okay, so you buy 10 fabulous roofing domains, but you know that in this market, they don't actually really do a lot of domain buying, and they don't like to update their websites, but you can sell marketing to them and your marketing will go well because of your domain choices. Great, then do that. So I think that resource of understanding how a vertical works and where is there a weak point that me knowing about domains can make money and help people in that particular vertical.
Okay. So Joe from Richmond, you will meet actually Joe, very, very pleasant girl. Hello. Which software tests do you like to use to see popular keyword domains?
That's such a good and fair question, Joe. And as soon as I said it out loud, I was like, crap, I'm gonna have to know what to say if they ask.
Okay.
I know I use two and I can't think of what they are. Can I get
Of course you can. Of course, 100%.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have a channel we can follow?
Oh, helmets. So I'm in the middle of a bit of a change. I'm going back to being self-employed, which I'm super excited about. But I'm a little slow. So I made this
slow. Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm slow in air quotes. Yeah, so I've decided, I'm not sure when I specifically decided to definitely do self-employment. I'm working with it.com, who's absolutely fabulous. And they know and support that I want, and I'm, doing, all hands on deck work with them. Don't get me wrong, but they know and understand and support. I'd like to have a podcast again, but I have not started that back up. Did you? I thought you knew that, Helmets. Did you?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, let's talk. But in the meantime, I have an 18-year-old who just graduated high school. He's actually developed some like heart issues that have been really, he's fine, which is great, but it's just been a little time consuming. So I haven't started my podcast.
So, and that would be a video stream, yes?
Yes, I would. Oh, and hilarious. I did name it though, and then felt a little derailed.
Okay.
So I wanted to name it. They did not ask me to in any way, shape, or form, but I felt like it would be great to name it on a .it.com domain name. I like them as a brand. I think it's great for saying I'm in the IT space. I liked it. And so I really thought about how I like to connect, bring people together.
Yes.
And that's what your podcast does. That's what I would like mine to do. And so the name I came up with, drum roll please, Thread It. Thread.it,
okay.
Thread.it.
Yes.
And then, you know what? And then, Threads, the, Twitter.
Of course.
Came out. Twitter, and I'm like, well, I don't know if that's actually survey, please. Let's see. Anybody in the live chat, go with it, don't go with it. I'm like, is it a trademark issue? Does it look bad? Because I haven't actually I started developing things around it beforehand, but now that they came out with it, I feel like that looks like I'm a coattail chaser. But then I'm like,
I do think if you went for threads, then it would be a clear trademark issue. Thread it, no.
Yeah, I'm not worried about like actual actual legal trademark issue. I just didn't want to look like a hanger on. And thread it is way cooler than threads anyway.
Yes.
But oh, I have something to say about that. But first, I also then, as much as I was negative, and it really stopped me from developing further for a little while. But then I thought, you know what? Gosh darn it. I have some pretty good marketing skills. If I all by myself came up with that name, like what was the dollar amount of the people in the drawing room that came up, the salary dollar amount of the people who came up with that as a brand over there. Yes, Mark, thread.it.com, which probably doesn't resolve anywhere right now. I haven't done, I bought it before everything came out. But I haven't developed it yet. But a reminder from earlier when I said that makes me think of something. My favorite thing, if you don't already know this, my favorite are a word that is both a verb and a noun, I think have a lot of value. And that actually, this is a good, case in point. Threads are things. Threads, you see, you look at, you pick up,
absolutely.
they're scraps. I don't know what, and the obvious IT meaning of threads. But thread, singular, I like that, Joe.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Threads, singular, is a verb and a noun. So it's all the noun things that I just said about the plural, but it's also to do it, to bring those together. And I believe those words as, the marketing value of a combined word and noun are generally much higher than something that's just a noun. In fact, I've used, when I was trying to name my podcast, but you could do this for investing in a domain name as well. I've said to, Chat GPT, tell me 100 words, give me a list of 100 words that are this many characters or shorter that are both a verb and a noun. And then what I did was, and connote togetherness, community, whatever. And I didn't come up with anything better than thread, which I already had in mind. But I am saying if you're looking to name something else, I came up with a lot of ideas I hadn't thought of, a lot of domains I would be willing to invest in. That's a great approach, I think. So
so you're going into it.com.
Yeah, I like IT. I mean, obviously I'm working with
I
them.
do like it as well. Yes.
Super smart. It's a really neat idea that has been tried before. And sometimes I'm a little, come on, you guys. We're doing crazy, weird stuff with these NFTs and all this, all this stuff in the blockchain. Why is it crazy and weird to do something with .it.com? I don't think that's that out there. And it is true that many, many, many years ago, there were other domains like that things didn't go well on. Well, isn't this the internet? Is anything that you're on a version 1? Right? So we've learned a bunch as a, global organization of, domain investors. We've learned a lot about what not to do, what to do if things go wrong, what to do to make sure nothing does go wrong. There's so much out there. This is like a V5, V6.
Yeah.
It's not, so saying it's been tried before and it didn't work, to me, that's a positive. So now we know a whole bunch of things not to do and we don't do those. So
I do remember during the last summit. So the first test event that we ran, and Andrew came out with it, and Munir did talk about it.com, and the guys were sitting domainers, and they started checking in and they started checking the words. Oh, business.it.com is available. Let me think. This is available. That is available. Or for nominal prices. And business.it.com was available for a long, long, long time. I couldn't understand it.
Interesting. Yeah, now I gotta go. Can I look? I don't know.
Is it taken?
Yeah, it looks like it's taken but not active is my guess. Yeah, and that's okay. You know, and like most domains are speculative anyway. I mean, just to the investment community, right? And I'm not here to sell anything. I'm just here to chat with you. But most domains are, you know, I don't know if like vacuums are going to take off or if, you know, Chat GPT is going to be renamed something.
Oh God, I do not understand absolutely GPT names. I do not get them. I think all the domainers who buy these names, it doesn't matter how many sales are there. I think they are all destined for bankruptcy. Like that's I don't understand it, but if it works for some, great.
Yeah, and that's why I think we want to have a strategy in place first of including, just like a regular investment portfolio, how much is speculative, how you know what your risk profile is, you know. Good day from Arizona. I like that. I like the day part. I've been talking to my friends down under a lot lately, but also I'm in Arizona too. I don't know who Richest Domains is, but if tell me who you are. I don't know how, but if you're a local, we'll do a local thing. So I get together with domainers here like relatively often. So yeah. How do I feel about decentralized?
Yes.
Here, I'll finish real quick for my local friend. He's in Peoria. That's way too far away. I'm in Scottsdale. If you'll come to me, we can meet. Like helmets, I'll come to you in London. But Peoria.
Okay. You should come to me.
So I actually, my dear friend, Alan Hack, who is one of the best domain brokers in the world, but also exceptionally private, very quiet. I see him go into rooms at conferences, and I know he's going some of the most powerful people, and you'll never know. But anyway, Alan, we do get together a couple times a year here locally, but he's such a sweetheart. He changed his flight back from at NamesCon. We kept we both had so much to do. So he changed his flight so that we did our meeting on the flight back. So it's funny how you work it out and get it done.
Here you go.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool. Yeah. I was at GoDaddy in 2004 also. So no, I was not. My math stinks. Anyways,
okay, let us get back.
What was the other question? Was about
Web3 domains, decentralized domains. Yeah. What do you think about
that? You know what? I don't know. That's my real answer. Listen, I think it's brilliant to be exploring. I think we're at a V1, V2, however you want to look at it.
Absolutely.
I think we need to be curious and creative. I would never put all my money in it or even all my investing money in it. I think, I was there in the room with the famous fight on stage at NamesCon, not this year, but the year before, to be clear, a verbal argument. And listen, like we need to disagree. Disagreement is good. It's not bad. I think how we do it should be professional, respectful, courteous, not only to the people you're actually disagreeing with, but also to the conference that has put you on their stage and the people who've come to hear about something besides your disagreement. But that aside, and I think even the people who were involved learned that and recognized that and kind of grew up. But we need to disagree, because and we also need to make some mistakes and figure something. This is way too big a change. Like, it's changing our entire world. It's going to change domain names. I don't know how secure, and I don't know which version. I think there's a lot more risk in a V1 or V2 than in a V5. So, look at your own life, your own finances, your own risk profile, and then put a percentage towards that. I mean, I'll flat out, my percentage is 0. But, I have some other things that cause that choice. I wouldn't say never. I would just say, I have other things that I think are, better uses of my resources. But I really support, I mean, I own something or other. Not so much for investment as for experience, because I want to understand it, and know how to actually do it, not just think I know how to do it, right? But yeah, that's my opinion. Helmets, am I allowed to counter interview?
No, go on. I want to keep my poses now. Definitely. I just want to allow you to talk. Really, really. So what do you think? Do they have a future?
Yeah, I think there's an absolute future. Again, insert legal disclaimer here. I think there's an absolute future. I don't know what that future is. I don't know if what you buy today will have value in and of itself, or if it will have iterated from what we've learned and changed and grown. So, that doesn't mean my investment or my exact asset has a future, but I think the overall idea has tremendous value in future. So, and it takes people investing, learning, exploring to grow that. So is that, I mean, I think that's an answer. I don't, and it's an answer where each individual has to choose from there something.
Those who are watching, I'm planning to do a live stream with free name. I am very, very skeptical about Web3, though I was much more skeptical before I heard of free name.
Mm-hmm.
Now I start leaning towards it could work. It could really, really work. All I see is resistance from the browser's side. That is the only thing. My favorite browser is Brave, and I understand that Brave actually works absolutely fine with Web3. So if it is question just of resistance of one browser, history has got way too many samples. Even Christianity and Roman Empire is exactly that sample. If we see that history keeps repeating itself, goes on spiral, and when there is huge resistance, then they can become the biggest advocates for it. That is an interesting one. But I definitely do agree with you, what you said, that technology has to be there. People have to experiment. People have to try. You fail, you build, you rebuild, and that is how everything develops.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. And we all choose how much we want to participate in that.
Yes.
A little bit, a lot. But there's no way all these companies aren't out here because it couldn't actually work. Yeah, it could actually work. You can listen and be completely, I like different folks I've listened to, and I don't have the technical expertise to find a single problem in what they're saying. And then I'll listen to someone else who has technical expertise and is finding a million problems and is very resistant and shut down. And I think the truth is in the middle, and we're sorting it out. We're finding, solutions, and we're finding problems with those solutions, and that's all natural and healthy to get to the next place. Yeah.
So Rich's Domain is saying he's going to Vegas. Tickets are expensive. Yes, I've heard of your American conferences.
Yeah,
Tickets
there's a big SEO conference in
Yes.
Vegas coming up. Yeah, I mean, like, it's fine. I don't know how many people are on here or whatever. I don't think I'm that hard to find. Like, you're more than welcome. You can just email me. I'll either put my email. If is a live chat saved forever?
Yes, the chat history is there. Yes, it is. Absolutely, it's
I
there.
might not want it saved forever, but like,
Rich's,
if you Google me for like a millisecond, you'll find my email. And just so feel free, email me. I'd love to chat or meet up. So yeah, is that good?
Absolutely. And what is it? It is not that far away. London is not that far away. In the evening, you get into your flight, you have a nap, you wake up, coffee, please. Good morning, London. That's it. Beautiful. Enjoy, relax. The
Yeah,
weather will
I
be
think it's
great
gonna
as
be a
well.
wonderful
Absolutely.
trip. I have no worries. The flight from the West Coast is no big
Yes.
deal. Everybody's got a direct flight to London. And I am tremendously excited for the summit. I think there's just the value in going to domain events in other parts of the world. You get to see and connect with people. I mean, it's totally normal for me. I will wake up at 2 a.m., you know, put on a professional shirt,
Bang.
my
Okay.
like pajama pants on, and have a call with someone in another part of the world. I've been doing that for as long as I can remember, but it's different than going to a conference in another part of the world where you get to meet and spend time with people who truly have just a different way of looking at
Yes.
things.
Yes.
And you might find the next niche for you, or you might find someone who makes you start thinking differently. Yeah, I'm so excited for what you've put together, Helmets.
And I'm super excited that you are coming. We can tell everybody that we tried to get you last year as well. Couldn't.
I would have loved to have come
If
last year.
anybody
Really
from GoDaddy are watching, was it so
No,
difficult to give the permission? Come on!
I have so much
on time.
love and
Yes.
appreciation for them as a
Yeah,
company,
of
and
course. Yes.
they need to manage and protect.
Of course, they need to be cautious. At that level, you need to be cautious. You cannot take stupid risks.
My big worry. So I'm
Yes.
packing for London, and
Okay.
my suitcase is like, at this point just has things that I've put aside and said, oh, here are my, like, the electricity converter, or, little things like that I'll just pop over. My snuggly socks. I like to
Okay.
wear snuggly
Yes. Yeah.
socks in the hotel
Awesome.
room.
Yes.
I have a couple of gifts to bring. So just different things are like on my suitcase right now.
Fantastic. Yes.
But I live in the desert in
Yes.
the greater Phoenix area, and I'm like, shoot, I need an umbrella. I need like a little compact travel umbrella. Am I going to need an umbrella? What's the weather forecast?
It should be fine. It should be fine. You can get anything here, and the stuff is cheap. This stuff is truly cheap in London. You can get that British umbrella for £5, for £10 on most in most souvenir shops. That's it.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Seriously.
I'm not worried about anything.
Yes.
I,
And
in-
usually
I'm
that is what they do in German, French, or American movies. People fly in London, rain. Psh, come on. No, it isn't that bad. No.
No, I'm not worried. No. So
Okay. So there are lots of there are lots of stuff like that. You actually own them. Pretty cool. What?
that's the decentralized domains, I assume. That comment.
Mr. Planet? Planet? This is Planet. This is totally wrong. You don't own anything in this world. Anything. Anything. Forget about it. You don't own anything. Blockchain is, and definitely, well, blockchain is a tricky thing.
Yeah, that's extremely true.
Yes.
Yeah. Even, our domain names we need to renew every year. Blockchain is definitely, safe on a lot of levels, but, a lot of unknowns. And I think in general, just like with
Yes.
your house, the biggest safety risk is our own management of
Yes.
our own safety, whether it's something as simple as two-factor authentication
Yes.
or something in terms of if you own, I've got this mouse right here, and God forbid, if I die tomorrow, someone can walk in and, my child can now,
Yep.
it's my child's mouse.
Yes.
Um, are your domains set up like that? Are your decentralized assets set up that way? Are, is your laptop secure, or are you out on, public Wi-Fi without a VPN?
Yes.
Like in general, we are the weakest point of our security.
Absolutely.
And so it'd be great. Actually, maybe sometime, I'm, oh shoot, isn't there a movie quote that I don't know? Like, I'm just a girl standing on a corner or something. That's not it. That sounds really
No,
wrong.
this does sound a bit wrong. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but anyway,
From
I'm just
some Gears movie. Yes.
yeah. I'm not a security expert,
Yes.
but I would be happy to do this sometime. Or helmets, you could get someone who's actually like qualified in this to do it. But I mean, that's a great thing to review. What are the 10 top things I can do to secure my laptop, my phone, my portfolio, my decentralized assets, my in the event of my incapacitation or death, what are those items? Because all this, mishmash about what do I have? What's it going to be in 10 years? How am I going to sell it? None of it matters if you lose access to it tomorrow. Anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and I have seen that. Ooh, it's not pretty.
Yes, you do own that stuff, but you need your access. Well, I've lost it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Goody. Yes. Okay. Okay. Sam Charles. I really hope he's not joking. Sam. God, sometimes Sam and his jokes are. Okay.
Well, we know if he's an optimist or a pessimist, don't we now? Meanwhile, Helmets is like the total optimist. No umbrella needed.
Absolutely.
Sam's 100% rain.
100% rain and sandwiches. Yes. What is your day like, Tess?
My day?
Yes. You've told me several times, and still, I understand that you wake up really, really early. Do you?
I do. I usually do. Yeah. So, especially right now, it's really hot here. So a lot of times I'll wake up early. I love to hike. I can't. You can't go in the middle of the day. It's too hot. So I like to do that early in the morning if I can. Yesterday I went golfing, with like an earlier tea time, right? But we need to do things early out here in general. So plus it.com is primarily based in the UK.
Yes.
So whether I'm actually interacting with my team or I'm just prepared to, it's helpful to be an early riser. So I do like that. Yeah. And then I developed this a long time ago. I like to wake up, do some work, then take a pause when my children, like my kid, I barely have kids anymore. I have, it doesn't matter.
No,
kids
go on.
grown up, graduated, moved out, all
Okay,
that.
yes.
Right? And now I have one child at home, and I share her 50% with my ex-husband. So there's a lot less of that happening. But the habit I developed over the years was I'd work. Oh, that's hilarious. I just got a text from my kid. Like, it's like they heard me. But anyway, the habit I developed was I worked for a couple hours, then I'd take a pause for a couple hours, wake my kids up, get them ready for school, get them out the door, and then I'd go back. Then I'd usually like do breakfast and coffee and then go back to working for another couple of hours. So I always liked having the breakup like that, and I've kept it that way now, whether I'm taking that pause to go work out or have coffee with a girlfriend or something. Just, I like that. I like breaking up my day into work hours instead of like, 8 hours, let's go all at once. So this worked well for me. Plus, I often will have, a call with Australia at 6 p.m., a call with, maybe India or Dubai or, so I like to have those chunks just kind of set aside.
Tess, you have seen so many people, so many companies. What are your personal top 10 companies in the domain name industry? Your own. And if some company is not included in it, excuse us. But maybe you could give your top 10.
Okay, I was not prepared for that question.
That's awesome. Brilliant. Let's go.
Okay, definitely I'm going to miss some folks and feel really bad about it.
Yes.
So helmets, you're just going to have to invite me back.
Deal. Tomorrow?
Yeah, same time. But I'll get the time right. So I would say, I've already mentioned,
So number one.
No.
Let us go from the very top. I can VeriSign. Let us go from the very, very top. Let us touch the gods that you really.
I hear you, but I cannot do that. That's too much to ask. What I can do is say off the cuff, biggest favorites, important ones for like Joe Domainer listening is, obviously Dan Academy. I already said that.
Yes. Owned by GoDaddy. Yes.
I think that, Domain IQ, I use that all day, every day but I also see how great it is for so many different people in different areas, right? Like if you're a broker, like, I just could live my whole life in there when I'm wearing my brokerage hat. And yet, if I'm Joe Domainer trying to figure out, is this domain good to buy? Are these keywords of interest? It can be really, really helpful over there.
Domain IQ.
Yeah, Domain IQ. I
thought Domain IQ was. I think Domain IQ was showing the history of the domains, and have they implemented other features? I haven't seen them. I haven't used the tool for a long time.
Yeah.
Their fault that they are not coming to domain summits. So there is no need to look into them. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
So I thought you were talking.
I tried. Don't make me say last names, but Ivan Russian.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't catch that on your microphone? What?
Okay.
Yeah, the folks so Intellium owns Domain IQ. I asked him to come to London, but he's busy. So, and then they also, so it's Ivan and Luke developed Domain IQ, but also Esteban. So
really? Okay.
tools and information and access are amazing. Yeah, the overarching company is Intellium.
I do remember when Domain IQ was launched, and I loved it, and I was using it, and there was one bug. You could keep getting, with free account, you could keep getting more and more results unrestricted, and I do think I did report the bug to them as well, and they fixed it very quickly. And I
Well,
actually do think
definitely.
that I said, if I report the bug, can I get a membership or something? And I don't remember how it ended. There is no membership for me, but that's fine. Yes,
Well,
I love the tool. Yes, sorry.
Scroll to the bottom and click every single link. Try out every tool that's in
Okay.
there, every option that's in there, and
I
maybe
didn't know
some
that.
of them are
Very
only
nice.
in like the more upgraded versions of different things.
Yes.
But I think there's what they have to offer is very smart, very well informed, very data driven. I also actually I'm looking up a quick recent email with a couple different tools.
Domain IQ are not coming to London, and we are gonna cut this segment out. No, of course, no, they're
And
brilliant, of course.
B, he'll come next time, I'm sure.
No, Hilco are great. Oh, Hilco are great.
So yeah, and then I really love, to be honest, I'm a little embarrassed to say, I'm not sure how to say it. But sav.com.
Okay, Sav, yes, okay.
Sav. So I mean, I've known its founder Anthos,
okay,
I think since 2006. And I really respect his understanding of step by step how to, I'm trying to keep a straight face with that comment. Hey, when we have a good 3-letter domain to use, we use it in this industry, right? Like, yeah, but he really understands step by step the auction process, and has built things so smart that really and truly you can tell it's the only company in the industry that intimately knows and understands every single step of the process, every frustration point, every problem. I really, really respect that. I don't know a whole lot about their back end or what, registering domains looks like. But from what I have seen and from what I know of how, Anthos thinks and works, I think it's really worth checking out, is just my guess. That's not coming out of nowhere, my very well educated guess. How's that? So you look like
we have number one is Domain Academy, 100% awesome. Domain IQ, absolutely awesome. The third was Hilco. You quickly touched on, or that was just a comment, no?
The third was what? Hilco?
Or the third one is So.
The third one is I did not mention Hilco.
Okay. I did think you mentioned it.
But I challenge you, helmets, on your numbers. They happen to have been listed in a certain order.
That's fine.
They're not number 1, number 2, and number 3, for the record. So yeah, I mean, Brand Bucket is so helpful for domain investors who need some feedback. Well, because of the timing. So I hear a lot of domain investors who will, use it, use different appraisal techniques, different, different ways to feel out the value of their domain. And a lot of them incorporate into their process submitting the names to Brand Bucket, and Brand Bucket will, give really well qualified feedback on the dollar amount that it's listed for. So besides their actual value in getting your domain sold, a lot of domain investors will use that just as a tool for pricing. What's your question?
And Brand Bucket's founder was a female, yes?
Margot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's based out of LA, I believe. They're run very, very smartly.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Such a clean business. Such a clean business. My accountant actually sells quite a number of domains through them. Really?
Really? How,
Seriously?
like
Yes.
chicken or the egg helmets? Did your accountant know about domains and that's why you wanted an accountant who knew about domains? Or
No,
did
no,
your
no, no.
accountant
Through
see
me, through me.
your
Yes.
domain
Through me.
values
Yes. Through me.
and
Yes. And I discovered. Yeah, yeah. It's
another
all started
conversion?
with Saiger. It all started with Saiger. Yes.
Mhm. That's neat. Yeah, really neat.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Okay. Awesome.
yeah,
So
okay.
number
Well,
4 is brand bucket. Number 5.
yeah, I think Brain Bucket's great. And I'm really trying to place this like for your audience.
Oh no,
Um,
no, 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 no. That is wrong. Your own top 10. Yes, there
okay,
will
well,
be
first of all,
3,
if
4
anyone who's
offended.
not involved in the ICA, the Internet Commerce Association, is incredibly important. How
Why?
they protect our rights is extraordinary. And for that alone, like I'm a big, believer in rights, advocacy, justice, ethics, first and foremost. But I know too, it's like, well, I could buy how many domain names with that? Their membership is
Bang.
very
Here
affordable.
you
I
go.
think it starts at like $100 or something. It's the Internet Commerce Association.org. I will fact check
A
myself.
person who was
Oh no,
working
it's not.
at
It's
GoDaddy.
internetcommerce.org. But can I send messages?
Of course. You can send me a private message and then I will post it in all the
Oh, well, I just wanted to write the domain name, internetcommerce.org.
Yes.
They're incredibly important. So like I said, first and foremost, this is the right thing to do. For they're protecting your rights. Current rights that you have are because they have advocated for them in different ways. But also, members get invited to member things, right? There are like Zooms and live streams and things where you can learn certain topics, but there are also events at pretty much almost every single conference. There will be a private event for ICA members only, and maybe 50 people are there. So if you want to go and hang with, all the like the cool kids, you have a nice place to do that. So I'm on their website right now. Their board. Nat Cohen, I almost always see him at the events. Jake Chapman, Braden Pollock, and then there are other people.
Oh, Braden is on their board. Yes.
What's that?
Braden is on their board.
Correct. Yeah. Each person I just said is on. So they have 8 people on their board. But Nat, Jay, and Braden, you'll most often physically see at their events. And then their staff, Zach Muskovich, you almost always see him, and Kamila Sikovitz, the executive director, you almost always see there as well. But then also, if you go to their website under About Us, you can see they have a member directory and member profiles. And you can see, who else is a member.
Okay,
And
that's all awesome. Now let me ask a very clear question: why ICA? Why not ICANN?
Oh, I mean, ICANN is
Let us make the difference. What's the difference between them?
okay. So that's a great question. Let's see. I'm gonna actually look up like what is ICANN.
And for yourself, I call ICANN the main name government. This is my own definition. It is that simple for me.
Okay, I mean that's fair. It interacts.
Membership organization, blah blah blah. Yes.
Yeah, they interact with global governments. And I mean, and ICANN, don't get me wrong, they're incredibly important. I feel like the average domain user doesn't really interact with ICANN. We benefit from ICANN.
Yes.
ICANN will never go away. ICANN
Of course.
is it Are they funded by the U.S. government? I
No,
feel like
no. They've got more than enough money. They've got more than enough money.
yeah,
All those new TLDs that were coming out, they were ICANN were saying that those are being released to fund their independence, but they
yeah.
couldn't run away to Luxembourg or Switzerland where they want. U.S. government just said to them, no.
Well, their
US government.
background was, the U.S. Department of Commerce, National Telecommunications and Information Administration, worked together to, like put this together. Even though I do believe it's a nonprofit,
No, it is
public benefit corporation.
Yes.
But so, I mean, ICANN is spectacular, incredibly important.
And they make
They're
all the
actually-
decisions. Yes.
Their conferences are free to the public.
Yes.
So and they do their conferences all over the world in fairness. So, for example, I was just at ICANN 77 in DC, and I assumed that they were in DC frequently because DC is an important place for government policy, and I was told, oh no, we haven't had one in DC in however long. And they try to also take turns on continents. So no matter where you are in the world, there will be an ICANN somewhere relatively nearby you.
Absolutely. And then there are different as well sections within them. They call them groups. They call them groups. There are technical ones for
there are different ones that are focusing on different things, and there are bigger ones and smaller ones.
So like what decisions then ICA make?
I don't know.
Why? My apologies, Tess.
Who's blushing now?
So, what do you do, ICA then?
Yeah.
What decisions do you make? How do you protect the rights?
Yeah.
Come to the live stream. Why we want to know.
Yeah. So what the ICA really does is, so here I'm on their website, promote and share best practices among participants in the domain name industry. So for example, they've recently
does the same.
So they've recently redeveloped a domain name broker code of conduct. And so it can help identify what brokers are safer, have a proven history, it's free. They're not, making a profit off of it. But things like that are important to protect ourselves and our industry. And then they'll use that to educate consumers. They educate policymakers, including they educate or almost, lobby or explain things to ICANN groups. And then the ICA also educates the media about the value and benefits of the domain name industry.
Yes. And of course, it is great that we have all these organizations, Tess. Again, it's absolutely brilliant. The more organizations will be there, the better will be there.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, I don't think there are that many. Yes. There are very few organizations. So I feel like ICANN is huge. They're going to super huge kudos to them, but they're going to go on without us. They don't really need our donations or anything like that. ICANN. Yeah, the ICA is smaller and it's really needed. It's really important that I think they need more of our individual support and encouragement and interaction. And also, conversely, for each individual, right? Like if you join ICANN or show up at a meeting, there are going to be 1,000 people there or something.
Absolutely. Yes.
Huge amount. If you join the ICA, you're all of a sudden, can go and there are just, 50 other people at the event, and you can really, connect and grow yourself more easily too. But I will say quick shout out about ICANN. So for anyone who's listening who doesn't have plans and is around, right, there's ICANN 78 in Hamburg is in October, coming up. Like it's free to attend these. So if you're nearby, go check it out.
I do plan to go to that one as well. I was in
Okay,
Haiti.
cool. And that is I don't know what the words are, but that's like a big one.
Yes.
So once
but
a
totally
year.
boring. Totally boring. Whoever is thinking that they'll talk about the main investors, forget about it.
But it's
boring,
fascinating. You see a much bigger
but
world.
if you like organizations, if you are interested about the domain names, about the technology as itself, and the policies, and the even philosophy side, and the different approaches, go.
Yeah. And then and it's cute that they're called by their number. So the last one that just happened, ICANN 77 was in DC, but nobody's like, are you going to ICANN in DC? You say, are you going to ICANN 77? So ICANN 78 is in Hamburg in October, end of October. ICANN 79 is in Puerto Rico, and that is in March 2024. And that's a community forum is the focus of that. And then ICANN 80 is in Rwanda, and that's a policy one, and that's in June 2024.
And what is in Europe? And what is in Europe after that? After Rwanda, they are going to Asia.
I don't believe ICANN 81 has been decided. Okay. I'll Google it real quick, but I don't think so because ICANN 81 has a proposal. It has proposed dates for October 2024. So they just at the last ICANN, they agreed on Rwanda. So, I don't think they're ready for the next one, but it's neat. Everything is public. Everything ICANN does is public. So this fast, I have Googled and I see what's been proposed for the dates all the way through 2028 and what considerations there are. So there's another important conference a lot of people will need to go to or, whatever. So you have a good idea for the next 4.5 years when things will be, and even if not exactly where, all right, if Europe and Puerto Rico just happened, or Africa, Europe, and Puerto Rico just happened, the next one's probably going to be in South America or whatever. So you can make some guesses.
So number 5 is ICA, and number 6 is ICANN.
Okay, all right, I accept that.
Yes.
Minus with my number caveat.
Number 7. Number 7.
I think we should do some tools. First of all, I just kind of thought it was a given, but
so you have out of 10 most important or the best, the main name industry companies, you have already used 7 options out of 10. 3 are left. Domain Academy, number 1. Somebody is very, very, very happy. And Domain IQ. Then there is Soul. Hilco wasn't included, sadly.
Yes.
Okay.
Brand
bucket.
I think that's hilarious.
Sav.
Yes.
I call it
Saw.com is another example, just like Sav. We got a 3-letter domain. Let's put it to good use, and that's fine.
Then ICA and then ICANN. Yes. Let us give 7th place to ICANN at least. Let's respect the.
Okay. All right. It is not 7th place. It is just in the top 10 out of order.
Okay. Yes.
And I think GoDaddy, no matter what, deserves a spot.
Oof, absolutely.
Both in
oh, sorry, this is number 7. So GoDaddy is actually number 7.
In the tools they develop, in what they do for the industry, in how smart they are, plus whatever else was going to be on the list, GoDaddy's about to buy it.
No, they can't buy it. They can't buy everything.
And I think too, in terms of the knowledge, insights, and information that is there, right? Like whether you want, it doesn't matter if you have your domains registered there or not, you are buying things there, selling things there, and benefiting from the data and insights they publicly share. But also it is worth having relationships with people there for what else you can glean from their insights and information. So definitely, super important. I just thought they were a given.
What else? Breaking out a bit from the realm of domain name investors. Domain name investors are important part. though still just a part of the whole domain name industry. So we have number 8, 9, and 10. 3 more, please.
Okay. I mean, are we looking on? I mean,
George.
registrars have
You've got 3 slots, and everybody else is out. It is the last 3 boats on Titanic.
I just don't. I reject it. I reject your entire premise.
So nobody else.
Yeah, I mean, the industry is way too big for that, right?
Okay.
Like, there are registry needs, there are registrar needs, I've really focused on registrant needs, right? DN Forum is fabulous, you know.
I don't know that. Yes, thank you.
Richest Domains just put that in the comments, but it's absolutely true. Right? We need forums, communities.
Yes.
I mean, there's way too many. We can't have a top 10. It's like a top, you know.
So number 8.
Oh, he's just ruthless.
Yes, we are.
So
learning from the best.
I don't know who that's directed at. Let's see. Okay, I feel like I've talked about education and community, and even if I haven't given a number, like if you're making a true top 10 list, then you really need to pull from different buckets, right?
Yes.
So even if I think education is so important, I'd probably put 8 education and community places on the top 10, right? But I'll say one that I've recently discovered that I don't think is for everyone, but I think registrars and certain registrants and investors would really benefit from is Domain Spot. I am going crazy with what they have. It takes a bit of time to learn how to use the tool. They use, I can't find it in my search history super quick, but they use I believe it's a Japanese method that's common and well enough known, just not to me, of how to pull data. And it is incredibly powerful for a more advanced user. I wouldn't say only at my level, but definitely at my level, I can figure out things to do and learn.
So what does it do? What does it do? I haven't used it. I don't know it.
So, for example, you can see how many domains are being registered with this keyword in this time frame in these countries with e-commerce associated and with this type of SSL. So depending on what you're trying to understand, the depth of information is super cool and very accessible at your fingertips. So whether you're trying to understand trends, you're trying to understand which registrars to target for sales, for which type of sales, if you're trying to see how successful a campaign was outside of what your, maybe your current channel is giving you some feedback, but you want some external feedback, not to check up on them, but not to harass them or to get multiple layers of data. If you're trying to historically understand some things, it just goes on and on and on,
No, that's awesome. So number 8 goes to Domain Spot.
Domain Spot is really cool. Very interesting. Now I'm starting
is coming up. Number 9.
Number 9. I'm
out of 10
I'm sweating
greatest
now, for sure
companies in the domain name industry. Tess's list.
Helmets.
Yes. Oh God. Some big companies will hate it.
Let's see.
Hate us. It is impossible now to get all the great ones in here.
I mean, so actually, Crunchbase, I use all the time. I think Crunchbase is incredibly important. Yep, it's
for domain name industry.
Yeah, it's all the startups that are happening. And
Okay.
I use it for I
Yes.
mean, first and foremost, brokering domains. You want to know who's at this company, or how much funding does this company have, or what stage are they at. But also, you could learn a lot about, really, what comes down to, you want to know new trends, you want to know the zeitgeist, look at who's getting funding. And if you want to buy domains that don't have a trademark but might be accessible or of interest, if you want to see who to sell something to, I love Crunchbase. So you do have to pay, but depending on what you're doing with it, it's probably worth it.
It
So
leaves us
oh,
with
and
number 10.
absolutely Ron Jackson.
Oh, bang.
Like we
I,
can't really.
I was thinking, are you going to really leave Ron Jackson out? Really?
Yeah, never. Yeah, this is a
DN Journal, dnjournal.com.
Yeah, what he has done for this industry is tremendous. Never faltered, never given up, never taken a pause. And
maintaining the class, always being maintaining the class.
He's always classy. Yes.
God, I love it.
Yeah, such a consummate,
not losing anything. Yes.
Yeah, nothing is biased. He is a gentleman and a scholar.
Bang.
Yeah,
Ron Jackson.
Yeah. Yes. And without that, we just, it's the education that he provides, the community that he provides, but also the transparency, right? The transparency of, I mean, we can't have like pure transparency or anything like that, but he started it. He's kept it consistent. He's encouraged it.
Yes.
We wouldn't even know that, we wouldn't even know, like, that Michael Perkins had a dog without him.
Yes. So this is the official list of Tess Diaz's.
It's not an official list. You can't market it as that.
Top 10.
It's an
number 1, domain name, domain academy. Number 2, domain IQ. Number 3 goes to Saab, not Saab, and not to Hilco. Who are you, Hilco? Sorry, my apologies. God. Brand bucket goes number 4. ICA number 5. Beating actually for one slot, for one spot. ICANN. So ICA is more important than ICANN. Awesome. GoDaddy. Well, yes, GoDaddy is number 7. Beautiful number. Domain spot number 8. Number 9, a database of companies goes for Crunchbase. Yes. Sorry, Two Cows and all the other United Internet Empire. And number 10, absolutely well-deserved crown of its own for DN Journal.
Yes. I truly, like, this is not a top 10.
This is a great list. No.
It's a good list of companies that should be on your radar, things that are happening, people to be aware of, also to just be appreciative of. Like, our world comes in a context that we've built, particularly with domain names. We could say that about anything, but with domain names, it really takes a lot of work to just, be able to go learn a little bit about domain investing, buy a couple domains, and list them for sale.
Can I torture you a bit more in a good way? Top 5 women. Top 5 women in the domain name industry. Top 5. Just take a breath a little bit. And nobody knows, but me and you, we have had chat, before. And I've told you, I've got 4 daughters, and I was trying to get in a balance. I'm not a feminist. I'm against aggressive movements and stuff like that, but I really want to have a good, healthy balance of female speakers. And I wasn't able to achieve it at all. Men are the ones who are happy to talk for free, who understand that they need to come, they need to invest in their name, in their success, that that's the place They can come, share their opinion, do business, and sadly, no women, no women physically took this opportunity. I did contact so many women.
Yeah. And I think they understand the opportunity, just like you outlined, the men
Yes,
valuing and understanding. I think women do too. There's, a long, storied, painful history of women
yes.
in,
Oh,
well,
absolutely.
of
Anywhere. Yes.
being a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but, this industry in particular has been pretty harsh to women.
This
And
this is gonna change in Europe. Absolutely.
yeah, I think it's been
I'm gonna.
changing
Yes.
across the globe. I appreciate that. Um, and a lot about this industry has really developed and changed all in really, really good ways. So
What
um
shall we start with? Top five.
well, I always start with Kelly Peterson.
Kelly.
She's currently with logo.com. She's been in the industry like 800 years. I mean, like since, oh, whoops, it's not that old. Nor is Kelly. No. But, Kelly's brilliant. She has a very technical mind, very strategic mind. And I mean, you can look at her resume. She's been at every important company ever. But I really like how she communicates, and how she holds true to her authentic self no matter what's going on. So I have tremendous respect for her. I really, first and foremost, a shout out to all the women, and how I do feel like we have an extraordinary network that connects and supports each other. I think we don't see that, we don't see that so much. So I really feel uncomfortable trying to say like top five. I'd rather say, the women who've impacted me or really been in my space, I think is a better way to put it for me.
Okay.
Um, so, um, and I have now I'm just smiling thinking of like, Kimberly Darwin is one of my dearest friends in the world.
Okay.
She doesn't,
What does she do?
need to interact with anyone, here per se.
What?
But she consults now for 101 Domain. She used to work for them, and
Okay.
before that, she and I met when she worked at GoDaddy along with me. So what she does is just kind of, private work for 101 Domain, but she's been highly influential, not only just, being a wonderful human being in my life and helping me navigate being a woman in very much, a challenging man's space,
Yes.
but also in terms of teaching me and showing me things about domains. I feel like we're always sharing information, helping, with new changes in the industry, introducing each other to new people. And those are really the important things about, about networking in general, right? So I have tremendous respect for Amanda Waltz, who is I mean, I know who, like, there are lists out there and this, that are out there, and I will not discuss this helmets, but I know who are the top 5 brokers in the world, who are the top 10 brokers in the world, which domains belong with which broker. I know inside and out. And
It
Amanda,
knows, yes.
yeah.
You can brag as much as you wish. Tess knows.
No, I mean, just there's a point when it's your
Yes.
opinion, and there's a point when you just know.
Data. Yes.
But Amanda Waltz is absolutely one of the best brokers in the world. And she is so quiet. Frequently, I wasn't going to make this gender specific, but off the cuff, not committed to this. I can't think of a single time I've seen a woman do this, only men. But frequently brokers will publicly take credit for things that we all know they didn't do. A different broker did it.
Really?
And yeah, and reporters, I
What?
mean, like,
Seriously?
yeah. And like Ron Jackson requires, he won't report anything without a private screenshot of a transaction, but
Yes.
other journalists
Yeah.
are not held to that level. Or just because someone commented in the comments, yeah, I did that, I brokered that, that doesn't make it true. And that also, just because it was on, on a blog as a comment, it doesn't mean the official poster is saying that's true.
Yes.
And people just don't catch those nuances. But Amanda is absolutely extraordinary and is so private. She is the biggest vault of actual transactions, that whether other people have taken credit for them or no one has, she does extraordinary transactions. So
does she work for herself, or
she does? She's partnered in the past. And most recently she was partnered with Jeff Gabriel. But she's always maintained her own company as well. I don't know how that works or what that means, but anyway, I think it's like Walt's Digital Media or something. I'm sure if you just Google her, look at her LinkedIn. So yeah, but I mean, top tier, 6-7 figure sales or acquisitions. I really respect her. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about her and would not put her in like the top 5 women who've influenced me. But at this last NamesCon, I was really intrigued by Sandy Carter. Oh, ouch. Sandy has not accepted my LinkedIn request. How painful. Sandy Carter is COO at Unstoppable Domains.
I went to Unstoppable Domains. Whoever is from Unstoppable Domains, I went to their Discord and I invited them to the London Domain Summit.
Okay.
To be deleted and me banned from the Discord channel. Here you go. Disruptive, all acceptive, unstoppable domains. I don't know. But anyways, sorry, that was just my experience. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything. There could be an admin, moderator, something. That is just, I don't take it personally. So
good. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about her, but I was impressed both in our personal encounters at NamesCon. I was emceeing, I think, 2 times that she was on stage. So, we had several interactions. And then just, reading her resume and introducing her, she has been in some incredibly important positions.
Yes. Could you connect me, please, with her? I've been trying to reach Unstoppable all the time. And
if you need to reach Unstoppable, I'd say let's talk offline about that and see who you need to.
Otherwise, I definitely know that they are getting my messages. But come on, let us have a chat. What is going on?
Yeah, but they're they're young and busy. But yeah, I hear you on that. Anyway, so I'm very, curious and interested in her and in them in general. So what I got? Three women so far?
Or 4. Okay, let us say 3.
Yeah, I did Kelly, Kimberly, Amanda.
And Sandy.
What's that?
And Sandy was the last one.
Yeah. So Sandy, I'm not saying was super influential.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm curious and interested.
So we just mentioned her. She was 3.5. Good enough. 3.5. From Harry Potter. Yes. Somewhere in the middle. Unstoppable. just
that's fair. Yeah.
on
And
the third
I mean,
platform.
anybody can
Yes,
get
through the
creative,
walls.
right?
Bangs, off we
Yeah.
go.
So,
So number 4.
yeah. Oh shoot, I feel so much
Yes.
pressure. So I feel like I got some, people in the brokerage space, um, registrar,
Okay.
let me think. I have like thoughts of people who I know would be like, don't put me in the spotlight. I'll tell you who wouldn't mind. Carla Westerdale is
Okay.
she is a corporate domain name manager at Kaiser Permanente. So really, she just manages internally their portfolio. I don't know what I can say about what else she has done or is doing for them. But it's extraordinary. She's, brilliant and really hardworking
Yes.
at developing the work that is done at internal, organizations, at enterprise organizations, the work that's done internally for managing decisions, organization, communication about domains is incredibly important. And it also shapes a lot from outside there of what happens with domain names. But on top of that, Carla has always been big on giving back with her time and energy and expertise. So there are private networks of, corporate domain managers need to talk to each other. She's, currently the like head of one of those. I don't know the right word.
That's good.
But just the way that she gives back helps people all benefit each other, is super important. But on top of that, the different ideas and insights that we've been able to share with each other. I've grown a lot from her. I'm sure she's grown a lot from me. So I think having a relationship with someone in a field like that is really extraordinary if you can have that. Because you can understand why do corporations make decisions. So then when you're buying a domain that you want to sell to a corporation, it helps inform, are you going to buy this domain? If so, how are you going to sell this domain? What other domains around it should you get or do you not need? All sorts of things like that. So yes, that's pretty cool.
And now everybody is like all the powerful female, all powerful women who are watching this live stream or the recording. Who is number 5 in the list?
I'd really like to say someone with a lot of meaning, and I don't know how this will be received or taken out. But I just, I've gotten to know Krista Gable over time.
Yes.
And I think she's just such a courageous, smart, beautiful human being who has brought a lot of much needed, difficult conversation to the domain industry. She has talked very openly about how women are treated and a lot of things that have been unfair. And I've never seen so much change in our industry as from what she's brought up. And, she's brought up other topics like mental health challenges. And it's, something that as a society globally needs to be talked about. And I just have never seen so much good in our industry as what she's brought about. And I know there's, different challenges and pain points involved in all of that. I never would have had the courage like she has had to take things head on. And that doesn't mean that things have been done, without.
Okay, I will say just one thing. my thinking did change after I discovered that my daughter has got Down syndrome, and I do not get offense from Kiss Cable, just because of that, just because of that. And that will be my only comment here, really.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but
I think,
yeah,
you know,
but these topics are super important. These topics
Yeah.
are so, and we are
Yeah.
all fragile.
sometimes
We
it
are
takes-
all so fragile and so lonely. And God, in the end, everybody wants to be happy.
Yeah. And I'm not
Everybody
saying
wants to be
everything's
happy.
done perfectly, you know, obviously, and I'm trying to be, you know, careful and kind about what I say. And, you know, but our industry did not change from people being quiet. And it, you know, I think I just appreciate I and every woman in domains has benefited from Krista speaking out. And I think, you know, probably, you know, some negative things have happened too. But I deeply appreciate that for what it is and hold a lot of compassion for, you know, all sorts of things about that circumstance. So
Absolutely.
anyway,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And let
So
us remember,
it's been
that we are
absolutely in
all
the
human.
top
We are
5
all,
for
yes.
me of
Okay.
just, you know,
Awesome.
impacting change and
Great list.
so anyway, yeah. Didn't see that coming, did you, Helmets?
No, absolutely not one. That is your list, and
Yep.
no, it's great. It's great. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah. Oh.
So we've been live for 2 hours.
This was
Tess.
really nice. Yeah, I'm glad we did this.
Tess, what is the best way for people to contact you?
They can email me. I mean, it's tessdiaz@gmail.com. It's
Bang.
fine.
So if you want to sell a
so-
domain name, if you think your domain is super premium, go.
I mean,
I'm joking.
yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to talk to people always. And you know,
And if you wish to meet Tess Diaz in person, do come. Please do come to London Domain Summit.
yeah, I'm
Next.
so excited to go, and I'm really grateful that you put it together. I think the domain world has really wanted that for a long time. So yeah.
For me, to all the females that I know in this industry are Kate Buckley and you. Top 2. That's it.
And Kate is a wonderful
Bang.
human being. Yeah, absolutely.
And
a wonderful
you, Tess.
domain broker.
And you, Tess.
Wonderful domain broker. Yeah. So please don't shoot, you know, there's no exclusion from that list.
Yeah.
It just went on and I had a lot.
Absolutely. And plus, we don't know everybody as well. We don't know everybody.
So,
we don't know.
Yeah.
This was absolutely awesome. Brilliant. Thank you. Proper
Yeah.
Fireside chat.
This is absolutely wonderful. We'll do it again.
Thank you. And if it is raining, I'll get you an umbrella. Don't worry.
Ding!
That's it. Thank you, boys and girls. And please go find Tess Diaz on LinkedIn. Connect to her. And she's almost always available and always positive. Thank you, Tess.
That's true. Yeah.
You
all
are.
sunshine here, no rain.
Right. Absolutely.
Just like with you. All right, my friend. We'll see you next time.
Good night, all. Good night.